The Mandalorian, episode 3. I was looking forward to this one. The first episode, we could have done without that episode. The second episode, I liked it. I enjoyed that episode, and I was really looking forward to episode 3. It started off strong. Started off real strong. That whole fight scene with Mando, Bo-Katan, and all these interceptors that came out of nowhere, that was great. They completely destroyed Bo-Katan's home. But let me back it up. The episode started off on Mandalore, literally right after the last episode. Mando literally wakes up. He was passed out under the water, and Bo-Katan was like, "Hey, did you see something living under the water?" I don't know if she was asking because she wanted to make sure that Mando didn't see something living, or she was like, "Did I really just see that? Did I just see the mythosaur? Hey, Mando, did you see something living in there, or am I crazy?" So I don't know if she was trying to hide the fact that the mythosaur was underwater that was there, because, she's not really one for all these old Mandalorian traditions and lore, like mythology and whatnot. So I don't know if she was trying to hide the fact, or if she was trying to reaffirm what she just saw. Like, hey, did I really just see that? Because that was kind of crazy. So from there, they're flying off in Bo-Katan's ship, and they get attacked by these interceptors. So Mando jumps out, grabs his Naboo starfighter. He starts up that thing and he launches it up, and they play the Mando theme that's that sound effect that they use in his theme, that cowboy sound and effect. And immediately that reminded they played it as he was launching up. So immediately that reminded me of the Changeling ship, the Changeling's vehicle in Attack of the Clones. On Coruscant. Funny enough, we end up going to Coruscant in this episode. But before that, we go back to where the rest of the Mandalorians were hiding out, their hideout, and Mando gives the vial, and they accept it. They're like, okay, this is the waters, the living waters. And so now both Mando and Bo-Katan are certified Mandalorian of the old way, because Bo-Katan jumped in after him, so she did bathe in the living waters. So after that, we jumped to Coruscant, and honestly, dude, I thought I was watching the SyFy channel. It was like some B-movie sci-fi type stuff. It didn't feel like Star Wars at all. See, Andor didn't feel like Star Wars, but it felt like quality. This felt like low-budget Andor. And I've talked about this in multiple of my Star Wars videos. To me, Star Wars canon is episodes 1 through 6. That's it. George Lucas Star Wars. That's canon. Okay? So I'm personally I see a lot of Star Wars fans, they're still holding on to don't ruin my Star Wars. And because I don't look at this stuff as canon, I don't have as high expectation as a lot of people. I don't like the sequel trilogy because it disrespected what Star Wars was. As long as it is cool, it's entertaining, and it doesn't disrespect Star Wars, I'm fine with it. Andor didn't feel like Star Wars, but it wasn't disrespectful to Star Wars. It did something different, and it stayed respectful to Star Wars. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with doing something different, because you can't touch what George Lucas did. You can't touch episodes 1 through 6. That's canon. You can't change that. So I'm fine if they do something different. But the thing is, and if you want to talk about Kenobi was trash. Kenobi was not being different and being cool. Kenobi was just bad. It broke canon. It was disrespectful to what George did. See the difference between Andor and Kenobi? And with this, I don't think it was disrespectful. Okay, to Star Wars. I don't think it was disrespectful. I just think it was bad. It was just not that great. It was like it felt like I was watching the SyFy channel, like some cheesy B movies, some bad acting, bad effects. Like they used that bokeh in a lot of the scenes with that Mario Lopez looking girl, from that worked with Moff Gideon and the scientist. A lot of the shots had this crazy bokeh effect. Like the background was completely blurred, and you could only see those two figures were in focus. So it felt like, hey, are we literally just trying to ignore the rest of the background? Like your sets are trash and you're just trying to, not pay attention to the people and the objects behind you. I don't know, man. The effects were not that great. The popsicles. I don't know, dude. Like some of the stuff was cool. Like the fact that they showed this highest peak on Coruscant was right there. You could reach out and touch it. You could see the top of that thing. But that's the highest peak on Coruscant because they have built up so much. The entire planet is just city. Just showcasing that was cool. But man, the dialogue, the acting was just cheesy. It was not good. I don't know, man. It was like, and it was with characters we don't really care about. I mean, I don't even barely remember that Mario Lopez looking girl. And the scientist, I remember from the season 1. But like he wasn't there much. But okay, here's one interesting thing about the scientist, right? There was a scene in the beginning, not in the beginning, but like after we open up to the Coruscant stuff, the scientist is making a speech, and it's cool that we get to see Coruscant. I do like that. We get to see the opera house. We get to see the politicians speaking and all that stuff. Getting to see that area was cool again because we haven't seen that in a while, so that was nice. But so the scientist is talking up front, and he stops, he touches his ear, and then he starts speaking about his mom. He tells a story about his motivation to do these cloning, his research, cloning organs and all that stuff. And that's another thing. It felt very real. Like these sounded more like real world issues, real world problems. We're seeing politicians speak. It felt more real. It didn't feel like that fantasy sci-fi that Star Wars is. And that's why it reminded me of Andor. Andor felt more real. You got that bureaucratic, that corporate lifestyle, that look at the people working and all that stuff, that day to day. The thing is, this didn't do it as well as Andor. This felt cheesy and bad. This felt like a bad copy of what Andor did. So, but anyways, talking about the touching of the ear, right? Later on in the episode, the scientist is having a talk with one of the droids, and the droid is asking him the questions, like the psych evals or whatever, that corporate nonsense. And the droid's asking, do you hold any resentment to your work or your coworkers? Or do you hold any resentment to the High Republic? And he goes and touches his ear and he says, no, I don't. But the thing is, we know he does hold resentment because he's not allowed to continue his research. And so I'm thinking, is that a tick? So if that's a tick, then maybe his motivation at the beginning that he said, hey, my motivation is my mom. She was sick, so I want to do this cloning so I can help people. Maybe if that is a tick for like he does before he lies, then what is his purpose? Maybe he has an ulterior motive. We know that girl has an ulterior motive because she betrayed him. And so right now we're thinking that she's a bad guy, right? In the show, we're thinking she's the bad guy because she wiped his mind essentially by the end of the episode. Maybe she knew he had ulterior motives, and that's why she did what she did. I don't know. We'll find out. But all in all, I thought the episode was whatever, man. Like the stuff with the scientist and the girl, it was predictable. Like the turning of the knob was predictable. Her turning against him was predictable. The writing wasn't that great in this episode, to be honest. And that machine that they hooked him up to after he was arrested is called the Mind Flayer. Is that where Stranger Things got the Mind Flayer from, or what? I don't know. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section. But anyways, what did you guys think about this episode? I didn't think this episode was that great. I thought it was a step down from the second episode. I thought it was mediocre. The acting, the writing, them jumping out of the train and landing completely fine. I don't know, man. It was just, it was whatever to me. But let me know down in the comment section, what did you guys think about this episode? And I'll see you guys in episode 4. Take care. Bye-bye.